do the outro, Kayla. Just do the outro. It's not that hard. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kayla and this is a place I made to talk about books. Before we get into anything else though into today's video, I have to thank you all so much. The amount of comments, the support, the kind words and comments that you guys left, I was so overwhelmed. You guys left me speechless. I wasn't quite sure what to expect when I posted the first video and launched this channel. The amount of response that I got was definitely not one of the things that I had expected. So thank you all so much. I am here because so many of you inspired me to start making my own videos talking about books, and your support means the world to me. Thank you all so much. Thank you. I am planning to release a video every week on Tuesdays, so there will be one video a week at the very least, just to start out as I figure all of this out. In the meantime though, let's get into today's topic, which is going to be a mix of a January TBR with a mid-month check-in, seeing as about the time this will be posted, it'll be just past mid-January, and I have read a couple of books, or finished them at least, so let's dive in. I do want to explain that I am primarily a mood reader, so these TBRs that you see, in general, I am going to show you a list of the books that I do have in mind to read for that month. If I don't get to a particular book, or if I don't completely finish a certain book, they will carry over into the next month's TBR. So there will be that consistency. I don't tend to drop off a book once I've decided I want to read it in that month, but it might just not get read entirely in that month, depending on how things go. So without further ado, we're going to start with the books that I have already finished this month. And there are two so far that I've finished. One is a novella, and it's the second novella in the Expert Systems novella duology by Adrian Tchaikovsky. It's called The Expert Systems Champion. This was really well done. I gave it 4 stars out of 5. The reason it wasn't a 5-star for me is that I did feel it fell a bit flat in some areas compared to the first one, which was The Expert Systems Brother. The Expert Systems Brother, I really enjoyed that. The world building in these 2 books is phenomenal, very creative, and the storyline is well done. The protagonist that we follow is younger. He starts about 14 years old, I think, in this, and we see him grow up throughout these 2 books. Now, the thing that helped with it was that we are hearing the story from an older version of our character. His name is Handry. So that really helped give it more of an adult tone rather than a youthful perspective. It was really cool, guys. If you haven't read The Expert Systems Brother or The Expert Systems Champion, I'd really recommend them. They're great. I think they would work well for Star Trek fans. They are a sci-fi, but they work as a nice, fast-paced refresher if you're kind of stuck in between books. The fast-paced of it, the creativity of it, I didn't want to put them down. Now, like I said, the second one did fall flat in a few areas for me, but I think that's more my own experience. I might have had more expectations going into it just because I did enjoy the first one so much. The second book that I finished here was The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I finished it this morning at the time that I'm recording this anyway. You guys, this was a 5-star for me. Absolutely amazing. The slow burn of this, getting to know our characters in such detail and having the mysteries of this world unfold as our characters developed really worked well. Brandon Sanderson did a good job with that, and I'm really excited to start the next one, Words of Radiance. It's on my list for next month to start, but I think I'm gonna have to dive into it a little bit early. I really want to know what happens. The next book on this list is a combination of ebook and an audiobook, as I'm doing immersion reading with it. I personally find it helps a little bit more as the world is so dense and there are a lot of characters that we're following here. This one is The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. It's the first book in the Dandelion Dynasty, and you guys, if you're gonna start this, I really recommend having a copy of the world map available and potentially the list of characters. So just to help you keep track, there is a lot going on in this. There are empires, there's rebellions, there are so many different characters, and the world is so rich with different cultures. It's really great. I'm about 50% of the way through, and I'm interested to see where this is going. It is a slower paced book, but there's so much going on that it doesn't quite feel like it, if that makes sense. Maybe it's more of a medium paced book, I should say, but it's really good, you guys, so far. I'll catch you up at the end of the month when I actually finish it. Next one on the list is a self-published author, Zach Argyle's Voice of War. This is book 1 in the Threadlight series. I believe it's a planned trilogy. If I'm wrong, please let me know down below, but it sounds really interesting. I've heard nothing but good things about this. I'm really curious to get started into it. It will be an ebook read for me, but I've been told as well that if you like Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson, you're likely going to enjoy this too, which, guys, from earlier we saw, I loved it. So I am really looking forward to this one. Moving into some buddy reads, we have The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden. This is a buddy read happening over at She Was Only Evie's channel. Evie will be hosting it on her YouTube, and there's a discussion in her Discord as well if you'd like to join in. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can find those. But I finished The Bear and the Nightingale, which is book 1 in this trilogy, in December, and guys, it was a 5-star read. It is worth all of the praise that it's gotten so far. It's dark, it's gritty, it's hopeful. It has elements of fairy tales and fantasy in it. It is just a great combination. It's so well thought through. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with our characters in book 2. The best comparison I could give it is that it really feels like a dark adult fairy tale, somewhat similar to Neil Gaiman's works, such as The Ocean at the End of the Lane. It just has that fairy tale mixed in with dark, somewhat horror elements that are done really well. I'm so excited to see what's going to happen with our story and our characters. The last one on this TBR is a complete short stories by Flannery O'Connor. This again is a buddy read taking place over at a Musical Bookworm's channel. Again, I'll leave links in the description below if you want to join in. It's not too late. But she's doing Flannery O'January as the buddy read, and I've never been introduced to Flannery O'Connor before or her writing. So far, it is very poetic. It's beautiful. Some short stories I'm not too sure on. They've kind of left me questioning. I think those ones I'll end up going back to just to reread and see what exactly I might have missed. Others, though, that stick, man, do they stick. They are poetic, they're beautiful, they're simple but straightforward. Some are deep, where others are just a simple, straightforward storyline. These have been really nice introduction to Southern Gothic genre, and I'm looking forward to finishing the rest of the short stories. I'm not too far in, but I've got some catching up to do before the end of the month. That is the end of the TBR. Now, there are more books on here than I will be able to read, but like I said, anything I don't finish, anything I don't get to, we'll move on to the next month's TBR. Thank you so much again, guys, for watching, for all of your support and your comments. I am here because of you. Thank you. Now, I want to know what you guys are planning to read in January, or what you're really excited to read next month in February. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much again, and until next time, take care of yourself.